your loss, right, could help you gain something else if you just learn that lesson from it and move on, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to be a loser for life.
you don't have
I
to be a
think.
loser for life. You just have
Yeah.
to be a learner, right? Like just keep improving. I have this, a hashtag I always put improve daily. Something I, sometimes lose track of myself, but it's also like that voice in the back of my head. It's like improve daily, right? Like whatever you're doing, just try to do better. You'll fail,
Definitely.
even habits, right? Like I'll try to develop habits. Since COVID happened, I've been trying to work on waking up early again. I used to love getting up early every morning, right? 4:35, I'm up. COVID happened, got into this really bad habits of sleeping, right? Like I'll just sleep throughout the day because it's like the bed's right there, right? So
Yeah.
I'll get up, I'll walk around, do some shit, and then, by 2 p.m. I want to pass out, take a nap, and then wake up 6 p.m., take another. And it's just convenient, right? No, you have nothing to
It's
do.
right there. Yeah.
So that habit now I can see it's almost a problem. I see it as a problem now. It's like I need to change it and like get my body used to like waking up again, right? So now it's like I'll do it for a few days in a week and then I fall back to like sleeping in a bit. Again, adjusting and learning, right?
Yeah,
So
most definitely. Yeah, man, to be frank, like that period of time would have been, the period to fall into those bad habits. It'd be so easy, like the food's in the refrigerator right there, like, the beers are right there, right? So.
And it's, I think takes a lot of like just that mental voice. I always kind of go back to that. And I try to be that voice with my platform. Is like I try to just share some of those messages, some of those things. So hopefully somebody else can just have that little spark like, hey, I should just go to the gym today. I should just like get up and maybe do this, right? Like I avoid cleaning sometimes, right? Like I'll procrastinate on that till like a week goes by and then now I have like twice the cleaning to do than I did last week. So learning from that, it's like those are the things I lack on, and I'm trying to figure out like how do I do better next week. So like next week I actually fucking clean when I have to, right?
Yeah.
I always try to say it's just that learning. Life is all like the whole journey for me. It's just all about learning. Like get better, get better, get better, get better. So when I do leave, I can be the best version of what I could have been, right? So look at it that way. A little philosophical.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's good.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. I think it's realizing like you're never done, right? And I think too many, and I'm guilty of this. This is why I know it, of like wanting to be like, you'll get to this point and be like, now I'm ready to take on the world, and that literally will never come, right?
No.
And I think too many people, like I know I kind of carried that around and was almost waiting to like be better to do things, right? And I kind of had this, I think I've gotten over that, but then I kind of had it click of like, I want to make sure I articulate this correctly. Even like, let's say like good habits, right? You're never done with good habits. You're never like, here's my 4 good habits I do every day and can do them every day just systematically. You're not done, right? Because like even in the best ways, you'll never be done, right? Because you have to put it in every day. I don't know. I started reading a lot about Stoicism.
Okay.
And it's really interesting. But the one line they say, and a lot of them, Marcus Aurelius and all that stuff. A lot of their lines are like almost like dumbly simple, but there's a like profound truth to them. And the one I like the best is, one day is as all days. And basically what that means is like, to expand on it, and the context it's said in is like, you're kind of the same vessel, right? Like every single day you experience in your life, it's going to be you. Like hopefully you're improving 1% every day, so you're better to take it on. But, and for me, I've trying to understand that with like your goals, like trying to like whatever goal you have in like 5 years, 10 years, like that person who's experiencing that success is you, and trying to close that distance is something I've been realizing, right? Like just for me, because, I've been to talk personally for my real estate business, I've been doing it 5 years now. I'm 27. Like I kind of had my ridiculous ideals of where I wanted to be, right? Like just setting crazy goals. And then it's like, I'm not where I want to be, but I'm also not crazily far off. And it's just like kind of trying to make things click and understand, like, I'm that guy who's going to do that, right? Like it's not some version of me that's going to come along one day that's me.
You.
I have to
You
get
just have
there.
to become
That's
that
exactly
person
it.
who's able to like actually
Yeah.
achieve that, right? And I kind of a lot of times relate like life, what you have to kind of do in life to what you have to do in the gym. It's like
Sets and reps.
sets in day out, right? Like rep after rep. It's the weight's not gonna get lighter. It's the same person who benches 100 pounds to then somebody who does 225 or 300 400 pounds. It's the same person. It's just that that person has evolved 1% better every day or
Yeah.
improved daily to get to that point where now he can lift heavier. It's the same thing. Right? When I was younger, I've had a lot of goals. Again, always wanted to do business, tried, learn sales, did all that. And then getting to this point, I'm always hard on myself. I always feel like that I'm not doing enough. Even like on the days where I do shit, I'm like, fuck, I didn't, do enough. It needs to move faster. But now I'm also at a point where I'm starting to understand that when I do look back, the whole time that from 2015 to me starting to wanting to learn Instagram and wanting to do all this stuff, looking back now, I can see that if I didn't take those steps, although that progress seems slow, but over those 5 years, I'm at a point now where I can do certain things that I know are different, right? And the only way I'm able to do that now is because for the past 5 years I've been trying to fucking just figure it out, just do this, do that. Went into the marketing agency, took the leap from accounting to, worked in banking for a little bit, took a leap from there to go into marketing because I knew that my kind of vision of what I want to do, I need to understand how to do this better. So just from there, kind of going back to your point, it's like you're never gonna, that other version of you is never just gonna show up. You have to kind of become that. And I did this video a while back where I talked about act like the character you want to be, and then that also applies to like your principles, right? Like your like how you kind of live your life and your values. So it's like if you feel like that person who is going to be the successful or married or whatever that version of you is, that's great. That person is obviously doing different things in their day or making different choices in their day to be that person, right? Their schedule looks different, their habits are different, they're most likely working out, all that stuff looks different. So if you want to be that person, you just have to start acting like that person. And now it's not like fake it till you make it. It's like you actually do the work, but you just do it at your like at that. So if you know that you want to be a bodybuilder and you want to lift all this heavy weight, you still do the same reps, you just do it at lighter weight until you get to that point, but you just keep doing it.
Sure.
So
yeah,
it goes back to that.
I think it's just progressions too. Like, I mean, I don't know, let's talk about building a website, for example. Like, you don't fucking understand that on day one.
No.
You go through iterations of it, and then, 6 months down the road, then you have something that's much, like, something that you actually probably couldn't have even conceived at day one, right?
Yeah.
So it's just continual learning too. It's this, we call it, we've had a podcast even just last week.
Yeah.
A young guy who was on, and he was just like, I don't know how to do that, so I'm just gonna do it. So having that kind of underlying ability to just start, even when it's kind of this, this daunting task. Because I mean, becoming let's say a bodybuilder, like that's such a pie in the sky goal.
Yeah.
And you're this 130-pound kid, right?
Yeah.
And then it's like, well, how many sets and reps do you have to do, right? But you just have to do it every single day. And when you realize that your day is really the only measurable unit of time, that's the big thing that I think that it's a realization that I've come to, I think, over this whole thing, is really your day is the only thing that matters. Like 6 months down the road, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
A week from now, it doesn't matter.
No.
Yesterday doesn't matter either, right? So,
I mean, you still plan for that week. You still plan for that. And I find some of my, I should move a little bit closer here. I find some of my best days are the ones that are more